So looking at the first four alcohols here, first three, you can look at how many carbons they've got, structural formula and displayed formula. Okay, sometimes what is asked is the kind of simple formula, so it looks like that to kind of fill in how many carbons you have and it will work out the rest for you. Okay, two different ways that ethanol can be made. Okay, you can either ferment a sugar, so sugar, yeast catalyst, and then that will make the ethanol that you want plus CO2. Okay, but then you can also hydrate ethene. Okay, so ethene looks like that. It's a hydrocarbon with a double bond. You can add some more hydrogen essentially to it in the form of water. They use steam. Okay, steam is just a form of water. It's just water in a gas form. Okay, you need quite an expensive catalyst. Okay, and it's quite slow, and only 5% is converted. Okay, kind of looking at the advantages and disadvantages. Fermentation is quite slow, whereas ethene is quite fast. Okay, fermentation is quite impure, low quantities, but ethanol then is pure, so it's 100% ethanol. They're not making another product. Renewable batch, so every time you finish, and it's about 30 degrees, every time you finish you need to empty it. Cheap equipment, high labour cost. Raw materials, crude oil, so it's non-renewable. Continual, so you can just keep having it, but it's really high temperatures and quite high pressures. Expensive equipment, but lower labour costs because you can just leave it to get on with it. Okay. How do you test for alcohols? Add acidified potassium dichromate and it'll turn from orange to green. What essentially is happening there is it's oxidizing. Okay, so it's gaining more oxygens. There's no page there. Listen. So it goes from being a alcohol to go into be a carboxylic acid. That looks like that. Okay, so it's just gaining oxygen. You don't need to know much about it. You just need to know the extra kind of symbol that it could happen. Okay. Not going to spend too much time on this, but you all need to know and explain the problems associated with alcohol. So high antisocial behaviour, cost the NHS, violent suppression, liver problems, cancers, that kind of tax. So it does make a lot of money for businesses, for the government. So there are some pros to alcohol. You can also use alcohol as a solvent. So if something can't be mixed with water, it can be mixed with water. Obviously the big one is drink. You can also use it as a fuel. Okay. So you can put it in your car instead of petrol. Advantages of using ethanol as a fuel. It's carbon neutral, it uses sugar, so grown in many countries. Disadvantage, demand for land. Energies need to be modified to use a biofood. And it could be create food shortages because we're using the sugar that we could be using for food to create fuel. Big thing, demand as well, in terms of this, is that it needs to be sunny to grow the plant that makes sugar. And we don't have that in the UK. Okay. Final thing, they're looking at IR spectrum. Okay. You will only most probably be asked either about ethanol, which is the OH, or the one that is the carboxylic acid. Okay. Nothing else until you get to AS level. You'll be given information to say that the functional group, which is the OH, is around, it's about 2,500 to about 3,500. So you'll see a peak around there, which indicates the presence of the OH bond. Okay. If they were looking for that one as well, then there would be a peak around here. So you would know that it was carboxylic acid, not an alcohol.